Okay, so welcome ke sesi kita hari ini. We're talking about how to turn strategy into action. In particular, it's about maximizing your planning and execution cycles. Jadi, gimana sih caranya kita memaksimalkan planning dan execution cycle kita ini untuk benar-benar getting things done untuk mewujudkan strategi kita ya. So it's really about turning your strategy into done. Basically, that's what we're all about today. So, with that in mind, I would like for you guys to type on the chat box what would be the number one thing that you want to get from today's session. Satu hal utama apa yang ingin Anda dapatkan dari sesi hari ini. So, here's the common things that I see in a lot of companies ya. Jadi, dari bertahun-tahun kita melakukan ini, saya dan para coaches saat kita ngobrolin selalu ngomongin tentang hal yang sama yang kita lihat atau keluhan yang kita dapetin dari clients. What usually happen is there's confusion, jadi nggak jelas sebetulnya arahnya mau kemana sih perusahaan ini. It might be clear in the main leader, but it's just not clear in everybody else gitu. Jadi arah utamanya kita mau kemana tuh sering banget muncul dari middle management, mereka nggak jelas arahnya sebetulnya kemana, and they don't know how it links, right? They don't know how every department actually links to each other. Jadi everybody's sort of like working in confusion. Because of that, kadang-kadang jadi they get into this overwhelmed state because there's always going to be a new thing to be done. Almost every day there's a new priority, almost every day there's a new project. Ya, jadi hampir setiap hari ada prioritas baru atau project baru. Sometimes we don't know the difference between an idea and something that we actually have to do. Ya, jadi kadang-kadang kita agak keruh pengertian antara sebuah ide dan sesuatu yang memang harus dilakukan. And because of that, a lot of departments, leadership teams are splintered into departments as if they're running their own races. Jadi kadang-kadang para pemimpin di sebuah perusahaan ini sering juga terpisah gitu, di mana mereka ibaratnya harus lari balapannya mereka sendiri. So they don't really care about what other people are doing, or even sometimes they're competing with each other ya. Jadi kadang-kadang malah ada kompetisi prioritas dan kepentingan untuk dapat sumber daya dan seterusnya di dalam sebuah perusahaan atau di dalam sebuah tim. So when this happens, then usually in general the company is stagnating. Ya, jadi biasanya nih kalau ini terjadi, perusahaannya kayak mobil yang lagi macet. Ya, it's just berputar di situ-situ aja. We're not really making big progress, but we're just where we are. Okay? So, what I'd like to hear from you guys in your teams right now, di tim Anda sekarang. Kira-kira dari 3 common problems ini, ya, out of the 3 common problems, which one appears most often in your company? Yang paling sering muncul di perusahaan Anda yang mana? Confusion, which is A. Overwhelmed, which is B. Disconnected, which is C. Silahkan ditulis di chat. Please type on the chat. Yeah, disconnected. So you have a bit of silo. Apa lagi? Confusion. Yeah. Disconnection. Yang lain. By the way, if you're new, I need people to type. Jadi kalau Anda ikut workshop saya pertama kali, siap-siap ngetik. So the more you participate, the more you get. Alright, there's a lot of confusion. Good. Okay. So here's the opportunity then. Ya, jadi if you're suffering from a lot of confusion, then you want to make sure there's this alignment. Jadi Anda ingin memastikan tim Anda tuh aligned ya, sehingga semua clear. Semua orang tahu apa sih yang penting untuk kita, tujuannya kita mau kemana, hubungannya antara apa yang dilakukan si A dan apa yang dilakukan B itu harus jelas, right? So we want things to be as aligned as possible, so everyone knows why everybody's doing something and who can help when we're doing certain things. So still got people coming in, sorry. So the next thing is that instead of being overwhelmed, we want to be focused. So when we talk about the planning cycles that we normally do in the halftime intensive, we talk about doing the things that are with the highest ease and gives you the highest impact. Ya, jadi saat kita ngomongin tentang planning, kita harus menentukan prioritas kita itu benar-benar mana yang mudah kita lakukan dan mana yang punya dampak besar. So when we talk about ease, it means simply it can be done in one execution cycle. Ya, jadi kalau kita melihat mudah atau tidaknya, kita lihatnya itu berdasarkan kira-kira bisa diselesaikan dalam satu cycle atau tidak. When we're talking about impact, we're talking about the strategic impact. Ya, saat kita ngomongin tentang dampak dari apa yang mau kita pilih, kita ngomongin tentang strategic impact-nya. Is it bringing us significantly closer to our strategic objective? Ya, apakah prioritas yang kita pilih ini membawa kita lebih dekat ke objektif strategi kita? Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about would be connection, right? So we want to make sure, again, ini kita mau tekankan bahwa the number one job description of every leadership team senior person should be to be a member of the leadership team. The second job description is to lead a functional team. Ya, jadi kalau Anda memperhatikan job description untuk para senior leaders Anda, harusnya bagian pertama adalah peran mereka sebagai anggota tim leadership team, ya. Peran keduanya mereka adalah jadi pemimpin functional team. In this way, you can create a collaborative and connected atmosphere and culture. Ya, jadi dengan memastikan bahwa kita tuh satu tim di atas, apapun yang terjadi di bawah, ngikutin culture-nya bahwa kita tuh kerjasama kolaboratif dan connected dari situnya. So we'll talk about how you can do this later. Yeah, as a result, your company will have momentum because every cycle you're getting significantly closer to your strategic objective. Ya, kalau kita bisa melakukan 3 hal ini, tentunya perusahaan kita setiap cycle akan bisa bergerak lebih dekat lagi ke mencapai objektif strategi kita. Okay, so let's get moving. Mari kita bergerak untuk ngomongin tentang the 5 key principles, ya. Jadi 5 hal yang harus kita perhatikan untuk bisa mengubah strategi kita benar-benar menjadi eksekusi yang lancar. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Now the first one is you gotta prioritize like a boss. Richard Branson has more than 400 companies. Ya, Richard Branson dia memiliki lebih dari 400 perusahaan. But most of them are growing well. He kind of knows what's happening in there, and he always feels like he's on purpose, right? He always feels like he's working on his priorities. Jadi Richard Branson memiliki lebih dari 400 perusahaan, tapi dia sendiri benar-benar bisa menentukan prioritasnya dia, sehingga dia bisa fokus mengerjakan apa yang paling penting. So there was a story of Richard Branson being invited to be a keynote speaker for a company retreat, and this company called his representative, offered, asked, is Sir Richard available and how much is his rate? And the reply was, he's not available. So jadi ada suatu kisah waktu katanya ada sebuah perusahaan ingin Richard Branson jadi keynote speaker di retreatnya mereka. Mereka menghubungi representatifnya Richard Branson, harganya berapa, Sir Richard available apa enggak? Dia bilang enggak available. And then they come back, we really want Sir Richard. We're going to offer him $300,000 for a 2-hour keynote. No, he's not available. Ya, jadi mereka balik lagi nawarin 200,000 untuk ngobrol selama 2 jam, dibilang nggak bisa juga. And then came back again. We're going to give him $500,000 to speak for 2 hours. Would he be available? 500,000 untuk 2 jam, not available. And then eventually they say, okay, you know what? We're going to pay him $1 million. We're going to fly him on our private jet. He speaks for 1 hour, and then we fly him out again on his private jet. Jadi mereka bilang, okay, kita bayar $1 juta, kita terbangin pakai jet pribadi, terbangin keluar lagi pakai jet pribadi, ngomongnya hanya 1 jam. The answer is still he's not available. And finally they asked, so what's it going to take? He said, it's not going to happen because it's not in his top 3 priorities right now. Ya, jadi dia bilang jawabannya ini nggak mungkin terjadi karena ini nggak termasuk di prioritas utamanya dia di cycle ini. So having that clear sense of priority allows you to say no to distractions, allow you to focus on making sure things get done. Ya, jadi kita bisa memastikan dari sini bahwa kita tidak terganggu dengan si lawan kemerlapan distraction yang lain, dan benar-benar memastikan things get done. So when we talk about prioritizing here, yeah, the first thing that we need, of course, is our strategy. Jadi saat kita ngomongin prioritas, yang pertama paling kita butuhkan adalah kejelasan tentang strategi kita tuh sebetulnya apa sih, right? So we had certain trainings already here in Next Level where we talked about defining your strategy, articulating your strategy. Okay? Jadi kita udah ada training juga yang kalau Anda belum nonton mungkin perlu ditonton tentang bagaimana sih menentukan strategi dan mengemukakan strategi dengan mudah. Now, once we know what the strategy is, then we need to be clear on what are our priorities. Ya, jadi kalau kita ininya udah jelas, kita bisa menentukan prioritas kita apa sih? To make sure kita bergerak ke strategi kita. Okay? Now, again, when we talk about priorities, it's important to understand there's probably going to be two types. Ya, saat kita ngomongin prioritas nih, mungkin setiap cycle ada dua hal yang kita pikirin. Yang pertama is going to be your strategic priorities. What are the things that will help us really achieve our strategy? Okay, hal apa aja sih yang benar-benar bisa mendekatkan kita ke strategi kita? But then because life happens, things happen, competitors, industry, customer change happens, ya, karena ada perubahan-perubahan tentunya di hidup kita, we also might need to make tactical priorities. Yeah, these are sort of more short-term priorities that we just need to get done. Jadi kadang-kadang juga ada short-term priorities yang benar-benar harus kita lakukan. But just know that your capacity to handle the priorities are always the same. Ya, jadi kemampuan kita untuk menangani prioritas ini selalu sama. So no matter how many priorities you still have to fit it in one container. If you can't fit it, it won't get done. So you really need to consider what you're going to put into your container. Ya, jadi wadah atau kemampuan kita untuk menangani prioritas-prioritas ini terbatas. Jadi kita harus benar-benar selektif untuk menentukan mana yang mau kita sentuh sekarang, right? Because this brings us to the second point, which is going to be let me get to my slide, which is making sure that you have a planning and execution cadence, right? Jadi hal yang berikutnya yang bisa membantu kita untuk memilih prioritas yang benar-benar mana yang mau kita konsentrasikan sekarang adalah kalau kita punya irama untuk planning dan eksekusi, right? So, in Next Level we teach about the 8-week cycle. Yeah, every 2 months we go into planning and then execution. The conventional method is the quarterly cycle. Right? Every 3 months you go into planning and then execution. The important thing is for you to pick one. We like the 8-week cycle because you have more games to play in a year. You have more opportunities to get things done. But if you prefer the quarterly cycle, if it works for you, then keep it. But make sure that it is a rhythm that everybody knows. Ya, jadi kalau di Next Level sini kita merekomendasikan cycle yang setiap 2 bulan. Karena tahunnya jadi dipecah lebih banyak permainan yang bisa kita mainkan, kemungkinan kita untuk handle opportunities juga lebih banyak. So, jadi seandainya ada prioritas yang kita nggak bisa pegang sekarang, kita tahu bahwa 2 bulan kemudian nih mungkin bisa kita sentuh lagi, right? So, if there's a opportunity that we feel we can't handle now, all we have to wait for is just 2 months, right? And then we can get things done. So, it's really having this cycle that's going to be important for us to make sure that we don't try to put everything in our plate right now. Ya, jadi ini adanya irama planning dan execution ini membantu kita untuk nggak maksa diri kita untuk memastikan semuanya harus kita taruh di piring kita. Right? It's like a never-ending buffet. Your problems, your opportunities will always appear. Okay. The next thing is we got to understand about accountability, right? Having a culture of transparency and accountability gives you this peak performance environment. Having that cadence plus the accountability gives you that longevity plus the peak performance. Ya, jadi kalau kita ada budaya untuk transparansi dan akuntabilitas, itu akan membantu kita tuh untuk menciptakan lingkungan yang memastikan semua orang bermain di level paling tingginya. Dengan adanya irama planning dan eksekusi digabung dengan culture ini membantu Anda untuk bisa sustain peak performance itu lebih lama lagi. So here, what we want to talk about is making sure that your priorities are delegated properly. Ya, di sini kita ingin memastikan semua prioritasnya didelegasikan. Ideally, you don't delegate it to a person, but you delegate it to a project team. Ya, jadi idealnya prioritas ini kita tarik menjadi projects. Projectnya ini didelegasikannya bukan ke satu orang, tapi ke sebuah project team. So, in larger companies, what's very common is that a lot of executives are involved in their departments, but they are also involved in matrix teams. Ya, jadi di banyak perusahaan besar sering sekali terjadi para karyawan eksekutifnya ini mereka terlibat di departemennya mereka sendiri, tapi mereka juga terlibat di yang namanya matrix teams. So matrix teams are usually cross-functional teams. It consists of people with different perspectives and different expertise that come together to accomplish and work on a certain project. Ya, jadi sebuah matrix team itu biasanya cross-functional dan terisi dengan orang-orang yang punya perspektif dan kemampuan yang berbeda yang disusun sehingga kita bisa menyelesaikan sebuah project dengan baik. Right? So that's ideally what you have to make sure that every project is done well. So if it's, let's say, a lead generation project, you might need to involve some salespeople. You might need to involve some finance people just to make sure the budget is okay, make sure that the lead onto the messaging from the market is okay, right? So you get that different perspective. Okay, so that's when we talk about this one, making sure you have good project teams. When we have that project team, it's important for them to know how to work as a project. So there's so many different project management methodologies like Scrum, Agile, Waterfall, and everything, whatever you want to call it. But pick a method that works for the project at hand, and make sure that you have a scoreboard or a project board, something to make sure that everyone is focused on the progress of the project. Ya, jadi kalau saat kita udah membentuk timnya itu, kita juga harus menentukan tipe project management apa yang akan kita gunakan nih sehingga iramanya udah clear. Plus kita juga harus menentukan secara visual medium apa yang kita akan gunakan untuk memastikan semua orang bisa melihat status project kita seperti apa, pergerakannya seperti apa. Right? This way we will make sure that there's that culture of transparency in place alongside the accountability. Ya, dengan ini kita memastikan bahwa ada transparansinya untuk menambah dari akuntabilitas yang sudah kita bangun di step ketiga tadi. Right? And then the next key stage that we have to be mindful of as well is that we got to celebrate wins and we got to learn from losses. Yeah, too many times in teams, it's sort of like we do a project, we finish a project, where's the next one? We do a project, finish a project, the next one. That leads to burnout. Oke, jadi keseringan siklusnya di perusahaan tuh mulain project, selesai project, mulain project lagi, selesai project lagi, mulain project lagi. Itu bisa bikin orang capek. It creates boredom, it creates monotony. Projects are supposed to be the spice of people's work. Ya, jadi projects nih harusnya priorities or projects harusnya tuh jadi kayak bumbu untuk dari pekerjaan mereka. Their main role is to work on the routine, right? 80% of what you expect them to do is to make sure that we hit our KPIs so that the company is achieving what it needs to achieve. About 20% is about how do we improve the company so that we can achieve it better. Yeah.